Today is Wednesday, October 30th. And today, I'm simply wondering if the Dallas Cowboys are unraveling.
In 1993, Bob opened the original Bob's Steak and Chop House on Lemon Avenue. 32 years later, the original Bob still greets you at the original Bob's. And now his sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch has opened in McKinney. Same fantastic beef and fresh seafood at these two Bob's, each run by the Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Crest Infiniti in Frisco. Through the end of the month, you can lease the 2024 QX60 pure front-wheel drive for just $499 a month for 36 months. You bring $44.69 due at signing and drive away. And it gets better. This month, when you lease the new QX60, Infiniti will cover the tax. On approved credit, 5 to choose from. See dealer for complete details. Expires 8/31/24. Also, you can get a $15,000 incentive on all remaining in-stock 2024 QX80 models with more than 30 to choose from. Get on out to Crest Infiniti to test drive one today. Off 121 in the Tollway in Frisco or online at crestinfiniti.com. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest.
It's never pretty watching things crumble. Nations, relationships, hopes. Is that what's happening to the Dallas Cowboys? Are they crumbling before our eyes? Game 8 is coming up for the Cowboys. They're 3-4. That record makes them better than only 3 pathetic teams in the NFC. Just ahead, they must play Atlanta, Philadelphia, Houston, and Washington, all teams with very solid records. The last couple of weeks, what's happening? Jerry Jones, when pressed about criticism of his handling of the offseason and the roster, threatened the jobs of the morning talk show hosts on the team's station, The Fan. Then Jerry went out there and said that the Cowboys were designing bad plays and running bad plays. That is a giant finger, and maybe not that one, pointed at the head coach, Mike McCarthy, who then, of course, was forced to come out and calm things down after Jerry's statements like that. Troy Aikman, the former star quarterback and now star analyst of the Cowboys, came out and said he thought CeeDee Lamb was lazy on the field and that the Cowboys were running a lot of very bad routes. Well, that caused Coach McCarthy to again have to step up and say he didn't believe that was true. And by the way, he got some support from his players, who you would imagine would do that. And then Trevon Diggs leaves the locker room after last Sunday's game against San Francisco to yell at WFAA sports reporter Mike Leslie for something Leslie had posted right after the game, or perhaps late in the game. Wait a minute. The locker room wasn't even open. And Trevon Diggs was checking social media to see what people had said about him? Are you freaking kidding me? But I get a feeling that's very true of today's NFL players. Not linemen, because nobody ever says anything about them. Just the position players. Leslie even offered to work it out as Lamb headed back into the locker room, but Lamb stopped to hurl one more insult. And that was, left to Coach Big Mac to clean up again, saying, we've got to be better than that. Amen to that, Coach. The Cowboys appear to be teetering. How far away could a total implosion be? Well, What if they lose to Atlanta this week and drop to 3-5? What if they lose 2 of their next 3 and drop to 4-6? What if they lose 3 of their next 4 and drop to 4-7? Now, I know, first of all, even if they split the next 4, they're 5-6. Now, that brings us to the supposed softer part of the schedule. But it doesn't look all that soft anymore. Yes, the Cowboys have the pathetic Giants and the woeful Panthers. But they've also got Tampa Bay, the Eagles, Washington, and Cincinnati. That's not an easy run of games. Could you see 7-10 for this season? I think we all could. At that point, Coach Mack would know it's over, that he should be searching for a job next year, if he even wants to coach next year. And most of his staff will know it's over for them here in Dallas because they're on one-year contracts too. And so will lots of players who are free agents to be on this club. Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brandon Cooks, Osa Odigizua. The backup quarterbacks, Rush and Lance. Cornerback Jordan Lewis. Middle linebacker Eric Kendricks. Ezekiel Elliott. Now hurt offensive lineman Chuma Edoga. Dalvin Cook. The number 1 runner, Rico Dowdle. Chauncey Golston. The safety, Israel Muwakamu. A lot of players could be exiting here. That would leave a lot of holes in the roster. Now, I keep hearing people say, hey, they'll be better once they get some of those injured players back. Maybe. But you know what? The Cowboys weren't very good when they had those injured players.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
I just have a few notes for you for the second half of today's episode. First, if there's a team in a more ridiculous situation, it's the New York Jets. First of all, their owner, Woody Johnson. Oh my God. Just, oh my God. He's ridiculous. And there's the club with Aaron Rodgers. They started the season with Robert Saleh as their head coach. They went 2-3. And at that point, Woody Johnson fired Saleh. And also, they demoted the offensive coordinator and brought a new offensive coordinator on board. And then they traded a good draft choice for wide receiver Devontae Adams from the Raiders. Adams and Rodgers were big friends and excellent teammates. Devontae Adams was a huge target for Rodgers in Green Bay. So what's happened since all these moves and these trades and things? Well, the Jets have lost 3 in a row. They're now 2-6. As our Governor Rick Perry once said in Texas, adios, mofo. Now, first, congratulations to Robert Saleh for getting out of this nut house. Next, what do the Jets do with quarterback Aaron Rodgers next year? He'll be 41. Certain statues are more mobile than he is. He's got a contract for next year. But what do the Jets do next year Is this another total reconstruction? For the Rangers, the clock is ticking on the reorganization of next year's team. The Rangers and everybody else, can start making trades one day after the World Series. They can start signing free agents 5 days after the World Series. Now, the Rangers, honestly, this is very tricky for General Manager Chris Young because he does not have much money to spend. And he needs, I think, a solid starting pitcher and 2 and maybe 3 bullpen pitchers, including a solid closer. That would just about exhaust every dime the Rangers had if they can even get that done for that amount. Because the Rangers are trying to stay under the luxury tax. When you go over the luxury tax, you pay a certain amount for the amount you're over the luxury tax. Owner Ray Davis does not want to be a repeat offender of going over the luxury tax. So the Rangers can spend about a total of $240 million next year. Next week, we'll go over this with all the particulars. But some of the decisions that Chris Young has. Does he offer arbitration to catcher Jonah Heim, first baseman Nathaniel Lowe? Together, I believe they'll cost more than $15 million in arbitration. But if the Rangers don't keep them, who's going to replace them? And please, don't look to the farm system for that answer. And finally, Election Day is next Tuesday. Probably most of you have already voted. Long ago, I got a really, really sound piece of advice on voting in elections. It was, do not vote for programs or policies. Vote for character.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle, by Star Power, Love Where You Live, and by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of Just Wondering. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit follow, and then every weekday, a fresh new episode will be delivered right to you. And should you know other people who might enjoy it, please share it with friends. The executive producer and sometimes on-air talent of Just Wondering is my wife, Mary Dance. The producer is Mike Matern. The technical director is IndyCar Tim Hand from FanStream Sports. We really appreciate your being with us. This is fun to do, and I hope it's fun for you too. And realize that every day, I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.